Hello, hello, hello. A very warm welcome to all our friends, viewers, stakeholders, fans of Africa Rise with Susan West. It is a very quiet Saturday here in London. And of course, I have been counting down to seeing you again. And of course, we've begun this, um, Africa Rise with Susan West with the flash guests, episodes because I really want to engage everyone who is interested in Africa Rise and Africa's issues to have an opportunity to share their thoughts and make their contributions. So, of course, it is a flash guest episode, which means that at some point you will be allowed to make phone calls into the program and make your contributions, or we will, of course, invite you on screen to make your contribution. So please feel free when the time comes, we will let you know, but you can signify that you're interested in on turning up on screen as a guest, and we will send you a link so that you can join us on screen. Otherwise, we will also broadcast the numbers that you can call and make your contributions or just comment as usual. All right. So give me a moment. Let's take a break and we will be right back.
It's been a great pleasure being on Africa Rise and the fact that you focus on African problems, African issues. And I would urge you to continue. And I hope that more and more people pay attention to the leaders that you bring to speak on Africa Rise, and that this will translate into some change for the better for our continent. Congratulations.
Okay! This is your numero uno, and my name is Charlie Boy, the area father. You're the very one of Africa and the president of all frustrated Nigerians. Keep it real with Susan West. Yes, these are the channel where they like to watch when I won't get sent. You know?
Africa Rise with Susan West.
Welcome back. And so, of course, as you join this broadcast today, remember to do the needful. Yes, Glory, Grace, Shannon, quiet weekend. Yes, I felt it's in the air somewhere where you just feel like, everyone is just indoors, relaxed. Of course, we're seriously on lockdown here, but it felt a little more quiet today. Yes, so please share this broadcast, invite your friends, and like, follow, subscribe to all our channels if you haven't done so already. If you're watching from YouTube, please remember to press the bell button after you have subscribed so that you are alerted when we do go live. And today's topic is it's an African problem, but it's particularly a Nigerian thing because Nigeria seems to carry the trophy when it comes to, the ills of just taking public funds into private pockets. And so we will be talking about that. So please get ready to come on screen, get ready to make your calls, get ready to type and submit your contributions. But before I go on, there is this beautiful sound from Malawi that I am so in love with. It is a beautiful, beautiful African sound. I cannot help but play it. But I'd like to announce that, of course, I do not have rights to this music. And so, but to celebrate our African heritage, I will play the song and then we will take it from there.
Amatengazaje kuseza bakomo pamaiwaje Raja mama early morning amatengazaje kuseza bakomo pamaiwaje Magolo ali amuyamikira akutirinde lero mwana mine mwana wanzeru magolo ali amuyamikira akutirinde lero mwana mine mwana wanzeru uyulinde lero mwana mine mwana wanzeru Agire gogo wana madingo gamuyamikira udina madingo mwana mene mwana wanze agire gogo wana madingo gamuyamikira udina madingo mwana mene mwana wanze simukuna mako tawizina malota bambo baba ndisi nasarandeka.
Right. You know what? It's a beautiful sound. It goes on for about 12 minutes. I am sorry. I apologize that you can't see the video. We were being careful about, copyright issues. But, this song, I have tried to find out the meaning of the song, and it means so much. It means so much. People who speak Swahili will be able to help us out with the translation. But literally, the song is Line ho, Line ho, Line ho, Malamule, Wana Wanzehu, Ukaje Mana, Amatagasaje, Kuseza Vakomo, Hamahimaje. Beautiful song about this 92-year-old man who is praise singing his daughter, his African daughter, for, always doing right by the family, taking care of the family, and so on and so forth. He goes on, of course, as the music went on, to talk about his childhood, how his father left him. He doesn't know who his father is, but, just a medley of his life stories and experiences he was sharing in the song. And this young man from Malawi, who is a famous superstar in Malawi, and of course around the world, but I just got to know him, is doing a collabo with him for a mashup of some of his old songs. And he talks about wanting to go to America when he was younger. It's a beautiful song. I will do my due diligence next time to get more information on the song. But then, yes, we are back to our topic of discussion today. Topic of discussion today is about missing funds, heavy borrowing, no accountability. Why did I choose to bring up this topic right about now? The reason is because we tend to sweep things under the carpet as soon as the next story breaks, and then we forget about certain issues that are the core problems in our different societies on the African continent, particularly in Nigeria. So I'm just going to take us back briefly through a few years back when we started having the Buhari's administration, came up with unprecedented storylines that no one has ever heard about. Missing monies. It's either a snake has swallowed the money, like even in fiction movies, these stories are so hard to believe, but in reality, it was stories that were being told to Nigerians, like billions of naira will just disappear, and someone comes up to tell us that the snakes or the birds or the vultures have taken those monies or swallowed the monies. So I'm just going to refresh our memory. The reason I want to refresh our memory is because when we come from that angle, we begin to understand how Nigeria and the government and the society in general robs us of our destiny, so to speak. So let me not go ahead of myself. I will just go down memory lane to begin to bring up some of the documents that was published at the time. So please, as you join this broadcast, remember to subscribe, like, follow, share, invite your friends, and let's go ahead. If you remember, just a few years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, they came up with a story of a snake eating up millions of naira. A clerk, a clerk came up to say to hey Diane, welcome, to say that a Nigerian sales clerk has been suspended after she told auditors that a snake had eaten 38 million naira. That's the equivalent of $100,000 or 72,000 pounds. The clerk, Philomena Sheshi, was working at an office for the Nigerian Examination Board, which collects exam fees. The exam board, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, told the BBC that it dismissed her claim and has started disciplinary proceedings. Can you imagine? I'm going to go on to reading the next one. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that even when that came up and they said they're going to go into investigating how that amount of money was allegedly swallowed by some kind of snake, nothing again came up concerning this woman that was supposed to be disciplined, which is the regular thing that happens, because someone has to take the fall for the big man who takes the money, or some junior staff have to take the fall for the politician who has taken the money. And then so they do a lot of drama, and then they sweep it under the carpet and the person is allowed to go free. Then there was another one. Nigerians have been shocked and bemused after huge piles of cash have been unearthed in various parts of the country in recent months. Journalist and writer Adaobi Tricia, of course, looks at what is going on. In February of that year, I think it was 2007, there was 2017, there was $9.2 million and 750,000 pounds were discovered by Nigeria's anti-corruption agency, the EFCC, in a property belonging to Andrew Yakubu, a former director of the National Oil Company, NNPC. Of course, we remember these stories. And of course, in March, large sacks containing bundles of crispy banknotes worth a total of $155,000. That would translate into 130,000 pounds were found in Kaduna Airport. And of course, in April again, there was a stash of money containing $43.4 million, 27,900 pounds, and 23.2 million naira were recovered from a Lagos apartment with its owner yet to be identified. You know what? We can go on and on and on. I'm going to go on quickly because I don't want today's broadcast to be so long before you're allowed to begin to call in. I'm going to play you a video from 3 years ago, a video that shows piles of money, $900 billion stored away in some Red Cross facility. 900 billion. Remember, 900 billion is like 100 more short of $1 trillion. All right, where's that video? I'm going to try and play it quickly. Yes, that's the video. And you can imagine that the person who found these monies had access to these money. As he was filming, it means that he could as well, do whatever he wanted with it as well. This is 900 billion, not million, 900 billion dollars raw cash stored away in Red Cross facility somewhere in Nigeria. And this is a country that cannot feed her population. This is a country that cannot educate her young people. This is a country that cannot afford to create jobs for her teeming young population. Can you imagine that? $900 billion. 900. One human being or a few human beings gathered in Nigeria had the heart to pile away monies that should have been used for developmental projects, in the country, store them away for God knows what, and no one was held accountable. No one can say for sure that when this money was found, that finally this is what the money was put to used. Yes, Chikas Kumli, yes. $900 billion, yes. Lord have mercy, I tell you. This is just this is just scratching the surface of what happens in Nigeria. Now, I want to also show you how much Nigeria borrows from the IMF, how much Nigeria borrows from the, Nigeria just keeps borrowing. But when they do borrow the money, what do they use the monies for? You can see a couple of years ago, there was, it was published, the International Monetary Fund approved $3.4 billion in emergency funding for Nigeria, the single biggest disbursement for any country yet with the coronavirus pandemic. In a statement, IMF Deputy Managing Director Muchishiro Furusawa said that the pandemic and the plunge in oil prices are severely impacting Nigeria and that the funds will provide much needed liquidity to respond to urgent balance of payment needs. He also called for the country to expedite the unification of its exchange rate. And in fact, I just don't want to keep reading and reading, but you know what? If the IMF borrowed Nigeria that much money, the ordinary citizens did not feel the impact of that money that was borrowed from the IMF. Mind you, Nigeria doesn't need to borrow any money. With all the stolen funds that was discovered from the time the Buhari's administration took office up until now, if those monies were used judiciously, we would have seen some kind of development. There would have been some kind of, the people in the society would have been affected positively. But it goes to show that what they do is borrow this money, then steal these monies back into their private pockets. Look for ways to come up with stories or projects that never see the light of day, but the monies are gone. So that brings me to wanting to then talk about how Nigeria kills the destinies of her people. There is a story about a young girl in Nigeria who is a gymnast. And you can imagine after her parents have put in everything, or whoever that is responsible for that little girl, have put in everything they have to training this girl. And this little girl have broken Simone Biles' world record, by 18 seconds. Now the problem is this 10-year-old child will not be able to attend the competition. Why? Because she cannot find sponsors. I'm going to play the video of this little girl now.
Afambu Stephanie Ogechukwu Onusuruka. Adim 9 years old. Abum gymnast.
Nwam Stephanie the first other two job onwere obi kariaka when eme ihe niile o na-eme.
I started gymnastics when I was 2 years old. I did not know what I was doing. I started with a contortionist form.
Timena papa notice ogo pempe. Tinda na-eme as na he nwere okpukpo. Egwu bia na atom because amana me ihe obu until fear na CNN no a sport. I chose this club for her before I full coach Tony na TIG gymnastics na stadium ebo na train.
Straight, chest up, chin up. Go. She started from level 1, and then when I saw that she's got this extraordinary, talent in her, so I put her through the level system program, and then we'll move her straight to the HP, that is the high performance, because children that are good, I would say all children, they've got potentials in them. No child is born empty. Every child is born gifted and with a whole lot of content. So, but if you don't work towards that to bring out what they have in them, they will never discover it.
Gymnastics makes me feel happy and excited. When I do it with my friends, it makes me very, very happy. In 2019, I competed in my club, TIG Gymnastics, where I won several gold medals. I competed in South Africa. I got a gold medal. That was the African Games. I got a gold medal for Nigeria.
Apart from gymnastics, on me, on my akwụkwọ, I know na like ndị mmadụ nọ around her, or like ụmụaka, I know na like inye ndị mmadụ aka.
I hope to be training well, because in Nigeria we don't have those type of equipment. But in South Africa, I could do my double back well because there was a big trampoline and soft things to land on. If this Nigeria was like that, I'll be able to do double back on my own.
If we can get the support from the government and they have something for children. When I say something for children, I mean something planned and being inculcated into their curriculum in school, and then they take this serious, very seriously perhaps, and we're going to get it done.
I hope to achieve other amazing stunts, the big stunts, so that I'll be able to go to the Olympics.
Achọm ka ọ gaa very far, ka ọ gaa around the world, ka represent Nigeria na ihe ọ na-eme mmagolo niile ọ na-amago.
You can see what I'm talking about. Look at that beautiful, young, beautiful 10-year-old who have been representing Nigeria in other competitions, but now the big one is around the corner, and this little girl cannot attend because she cannot find sponsors, and she's a Nigerian. At the end of the day, if she wins, then you see the presidency and everybody else wanting to associate themselves with her. But at this point, they have the courage to go do shopping in Dubai for their families for weddings with public funds. They have the courage to take our monies into their private pockets. Okay, if they steal this money and at least when push comes to shove, they bring out this money to sponsor us and still want to make themselves look good, we will still appreciate it, won't we? We will. But these people have lost their soul. They take public funds into their private pockets, and then you find out that all across board, you find, for instance, you find Nollywood actors, people who have given us so much, superstars are in dehumanizing situations, begging because there is a health crisis, there's a health issue, and they don't have money, and they have to come into public spaces like this, social media platforms, to beg, for people to make contributions. At this point now, the lines are open. If you want to call in and make your contributions, please feel free to do so. And if you want to turn up as a guest on screen, please signify on the chat, on the comment section, and we will send you a link, or message us on our WhatsApp number and we will send you a link so you can come on here and give your contributions, because this particular program is about us. It's us are the elites. You are the elites. We want the people who are interested in the affairs of Africa, Nigeria, every part of the African continent to come on and begin to, so please feel free to do so. So here's what we're talking about. This little girl in a country with so much billions floating all around in people's gardens, in people's sewers or soccerway, as you call them, all sorts of places. They go and hide these monies. And then you find situations like this. And I would think that it won't take anything from these people who have managed to have access to these monies and taking it into their private pockets to just say, I'm going to sponsor this girl. If the state cannot do it, I will sponsor this girl, because at the end of the day, the glory comes to every Nigerian, isn't it? But no, they won't. And that is the sad story of many Nigerians, how destinies are cut short, destinies are killed, or destinies are forever delayed because of you know, governments who don't have the people at heart, who take our commonwealth and do as they please and play gods in our societies. Okay, so the lines are open. I really wanted to share this with us and remind us that we are quick to sweep in under the carpet and moving on to the next trending story when when the next story breaks. But we should be reminded of all these things so that we know how to hold them accountable, how to keep reminding them that we haven't forgotten, because they're so used to us, you know, something coming up and then we move on to the next big one. So they just go, don't worry. They'll talk about it for a few days, a few weeks, and then that's it. The next story breaks. And sometimes they are the ones who manufacture the stories that break to distract us from the real issues. So please call us on +44 7459 349 175 on WhatsApp if you want to make your contributions. In the meantime, remember to like, follow, subscribe to all our channels. It is Africa Rise TV on YouTube. It is Africa_Rise.tv on Instagram, and SWOB21 on Facebook. SWOB21 on Facebook. Be bold, be brave, don't be shy. Call in, make your contributions. What are your thoughts on these issues that keep plaguing our society? I'm going to give a 5-minute window for anyone who wishes to call in, and then we will be rounding up today's broadcast. Nine ho, oh nine ho, malamule, malawanzehu. I'm beginning to learn. I want to begin to learn Swahili. Now, Africa has so many beautiful cultures and languages. We cannot limit ourselves to just what we know in our immediate environment. So I have begun to, you know, Swahili is one language that I want to learn. It's such a fun language. It's beautiful. It's sweet. It's sweet to listen to. And I hear a bit of Hausa language when I hear Nakwana in the song. Oh yeah, we have a guest. We have a guest, and that is Big Sam Ofehi. Welcome, Big Sam Ofehi.
Thank you, Susan.
I'm glad to know that you're always ready to come on. Please make your contributions.
Thank you. Good to be back on your show, and thank you for what you're doing. Like you said earlier on, this is for us. It's for the African people. So why don't we just take advantage of it? So we might want to speak on CNN, but do they really need our voice there? I don't know. So I'd rather be on your show. Okay, that's on the side. Yeah. I saw the little clips you show about Susan. But unfortunately, Susan is just one out of millions. You know, we're just talking about a little kid now. They're the future of tomorrow. However, is Nigeria really just about, the problem is not just about the kid. You know, the aged, some people have labored all their lives, sang the national anthem. That's why Osaze was, even the football at that time, if you remember, he said, I sang the national anthem for 10 years. But what was the reward? Even people were mocking him that he wanted to be Nigerian captain. So what? You know, things like that shouldn't happen, but especially when you've paid your dues. So that's even on the lighter side. Remember the other time there was this gentleman, Abdul Rashid Mina, the man here who is always on the run. So he's now saying that his leg, they're about to cut it if he doesn't get released. So I'm like saying, they're about to cut your leg. I feel sorry for you. But what about all the other people whose their life is being cut short for no reason of their own? They got typhoid fever, they died. simple things. Pregnant women, they can't afford drips in the hospital. Little children running around naked, no clothes to wear. The problems are just mirage. It's too long. I don't want to bore your show by listing Nigerian problem. But they are real. It is the truth, and I'm glad you're really bringing this up. The conversation needs to go on. It needs to continue. We need not pretend that we are the giant of Africa. Giant of Africa, what? Is it in poverty? I don't know. This is the one. This is a billion question. So we need to talk about it. We need to stop deceiving ourselves that the money is not being stolen. We need to stop saying, okay, what if you get it? Won't you do the same thing? This has always been the justification over time. But these are flawed theories. They do not work in the real life. People are dying. People are sick. Please let this be stopped and let the conversation keep going. Thank you, Susan. That'll be my.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tunji. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to thank Tunji for always having, the audacity to come on screen, because I know many people watching Warner, but they're second guessing themselves. But, his contributions are apt. The truth of the matter is, maybe when we start telling ourselves the truth about who we truly are or really are, then it will then sink in. Because once upon a time, I was so proud to say giant of Africa. Now, even when people say it, I'm docking. I want to run on that table because it's so embarrassing to call Nigeria the giant of Africa. Giant of Africa in what way? Like Tunji was asking, is it in poverty? Because it looks like Nigeria is becoming fast becoming the poverty headquarters of the world, even though it's so rich. And welcome WSR1.TV.1.TV. Welcome. Yes. So any more calls and wanting to turn up here, you're welcome. A few more minutes and we will be calling it a day here on Africa Rise broadcast today. Yeah. So call or just comment. Type your comments if you don't want to come on screen, or you can just call and speak to us via WhatsApp on +4474 59 349 175. Absolutely. So we should always be reminded of what is going on, because we're bereaved of history, of information on the continent of Africa, and specifically Nigeria. We lack information to a certain degree for the things that really matter. So we want to take it upon ourselves on this program to go back, scratching and opening and reminding us of where we're coming from, what the issues are, and why we still are faced with these problems. Lest we forget. Yes, I'm thinking that in about a few minutes we should be rounding up. Yes, WSR1 says thanks to social media. Absolutely, big thanks to social media. Otherwise, we can't do this, because the government control everything when it comes to the mainstream media. Even when the media houses want to do good by their people, they come up with all these fines and sanctions and so on and so forth. Especially now with the herdsmen situation, the presidency have given an order that no herdsman should be televised or broadcasted when they commit crimes. So you can imagine they can do that there, but we still have the liberty on social media to share what is going on, because they're not going to kill us in silence. They're not going to kill the rest of Nigeria in silence, and no one is talking. Theodora Igwe, watching from YouTube, says, may God save our motherland, Nigeria. See the next generation suffering from the corruption of these leaders. And WSR1 TV says, for awaken Nigeria youths. Yes, for awaken Nigerian youths. Before now, youths don't read newspapers. Absolutely. We are all guilty. A very long time ago, I would read the papers because my stepdad at the time was someone who is so learned, and he would make sure that you're reading encyclopedias and news, the dailies, And so I was forced to always pay attention. But after a while, no one was paying attention apart from the ones who want to go in and see the sports news, But thank goodness, unfortunately, of course, social media have got its its downsides and its good side, but we have to just always make the best of every situation where misinformation, of course, does truly happen, because we've all fallen victims to some form of misinformation. I have learned a big way, because before now I would just see things and I would just think it's true because I have gone on Google to look at it and it looks like it's true, but it's usually not true. So we have to be careful until it's a verified it's verifiable or it's verified, you know. WSR1 says not because they can't read, but because it was expensive. Oh, really? He says not because the newspapers were not because the people can't read, but because the newspapers were expensive. And Gad Atsu Barasu says, how are we solving the problems of our corruption leaders in Africa, particularly Nigeria? You tell me, how should we go about this, apart from the fact that one thing they can't take away is our voices. It's our voices, because the more we keep talking, the more they know that we know what they are doing, what is going on, the more they begin to watch their back. I'm not going to mention names, but if you notice, during the time when there was a lot of what was it? Nigeria was beginning to feel like some kind of, it was during the EndSARS protest when it first started. Nigeria was beginning to almost look like there was going to be some kind of revolution, and some politicians began to were frightened, petrified about the idea that they will have to explain how they made their money. Some of them began to come up to begin to give explanations that no one asked them for about how they made their money. You know, I don't want to mention names, like I said, but some of them were beginning to, without any of us even asking you, how did you make your money? They were why? Because they were really scared. They knew it. They're there acting all powerful and all strong, like it doesn't bother them. They're so powerful. But the truth is, they were really scared. They were really scared that if these questions people begin to ask this question, they have to explain how they got their money. And for some reason, unfortunately, before they even have an opportunity to explain how they got their money, it might have been too late for them, you know, for some of them. So we began to see some of them come up on social media, making videos, talking about how they made their money, how they made investments. And the question still beckons, how did you make the initial money that you then went on to invest in those big businesses? Because some of us know the stories of these politicians before they started, before they went into public offices, before they ran for public positions. So how did you come about making those hundreds of thousands of dollars and pounds that you then went into investing into all these businesses that is now yielding you a lot of profits? Glory Gresham says, this episode not only exposes the many undermined talents, but also numerous and uncountable untapped geniuses. How else? Since they know, and we know that they will be limited not just by training, but also development and sponsorship. Nigerians are loaded beyond comprehension. Absolutely. And I mean, you can go on and on and on. If you want to understand how powerful our voices are, if you think that we're just here ranting away, we're not just ranting away. There are loads of these people. They watch this program. They don't talk on this program. They won't make themselves known here. But after this program is over, I always get the message. So I know that they are watching, they hear it. If all of them are not watching, their colleagues are watching, and the information is spreading around. So the truth of the matter is, they have a lot of fear for the people, but the people are yet to realize the powers that they hold as a people. Like they say that the power of the people is greater than the power of the people in power, you know. Until we understand that, until we really allow that to sink in, then we understand, then we know that we can make them understand they are there to serve us and not their pockets. WSR1 TV says politics was their last option after failing in every other aspect. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And because before now, the educated ones the civilized ones refused to go into politics because they didn't want to play dirty, you know. Not only politics, but also pastors who defraud the poor to fly private jets, WSR1 says. Unfortunately, there is the good, there is the bad, there is the ugly in every society. Even in Christendom, we're saddled with that burden of knowing that, of course, there are fake pastors everywhere. There are people who are not called to be in that office. In fact, there are babalawos who now wear suits, calling themselves pastors, because it is more, I could, if I was looking for a babalawo and I was too ashamed or too afraid to walk into a place where they have red ribbon and white ribbon and saraka food tied around, then when they wear a suit, I can walk in there pretending that I'm doing church, knowing that I'm not, you know. So yes, it is absolutely right. Theodora Igwe says, my auntie told me something as a child, agwo emegi inke ojiriburu agwo. Forgive me for bastardizing this Igbo. Umwaka achiria hie iku. WSR1 TV, could you do a translation for us for what Theodore Igwe has written down? oh, there's a translation that says, Achiriya hie iku. If a snake fails to show its venom, little kids will use it in tying firewood. Absolutely. That is what Nigerian politicians have done to us. Sadly so. Yes. Oh, yes. I can go on and on and on and on. And but I don't want this broadcast today to be too long. So I will be calling a day on today's broadcast and ask you to share this broadcast even when it's over, so that people can see and be reminded of where we are coming from just a few years ago and where we need to be, where we need to go. And of course, let's help to galvanize support by sharing support for the little girl who needs to be sponsored to the competition that she needs to go to. We just need to stick together for each other as ordinary citizens. Gad Atsu Barasu from YouTube says, the truth is that all their corrupt activities making them wealthy is coming to an end. Cryptocurrency will rubbish all, so they are afraid. Absolutely, and that's the reason why Nigeria has banned cryptocurrency use and coming up with all sorts of garbage excuses. We are not fooled. But right now, they have the powers. Soon we will let them know that they can only have the powers if we let them. So thank you for joining us on today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us. Remember to share. Remember to like, follow, subscribe to our channels. If you are on YouTube, press the bell button if you have subscribed. And of course, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic, it's so important for everyone to join in, because I know that regardless of what anybody says, we are still in a dilemma as Black people as to getting the vaccine. So please, WSR1 said, I was late, please. What's about the competition? Oh, please go ahead and just rewatch the broadcast. It's about a 10-year-old girl who is a gymnast who has broken Simone Biles' record by 18 seconds, but now cannot go ahead to compete. I can't remember if it's where she's supposed to go competing, if it's Olympics or if it's in America, where else. But a big stage where she's supposed to go in and compete, and she cannot go because there is no money. She needs sponsors, basically. Yes. So please go ahead and rewatch and share. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Before I leave, I want to show off with my Swahili learning. Lineho, lineho, ulu lineo malamule wanawanzehu. Thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow.